Michael Garrett says the Democrats deserve some of the credit for North Carolina's improving economy. And he warns voters that a big win for Republicans in the midterm elections could be bad news for North Carolina businesses. What is the biggest concern you have if Republicans are able to land a supermajority?
My biggest concern is we relive the embarrassments to this state that we had when they had supermajorities before, whether it be HB 2.
The infamous bathroom bill lasted only a year before lawmakers repealed it. But opponents such as Michael Garrett say a Republican supermajority could take North Carolina in the wrong direction once again.
I am very concerned about the more extreme wing of the Republican Party and the road they'll take us down. And I know the business community is very concerned about it as well.
There's been a lot of success in the past year or so for North Carolina economically. How much is that because of the Republican legislature, or did the Democrats play a key role in making those things happen?
I think it's really a team effort.
Garrett says companies relocating to North Carolina come for more than just lower taxes.
They talk about the quality of education and our university systems and our community colleges. You don't really ever hear them talk about, oh, it's the lowest corporate tax rate in the Southeast.
Can you be critical of their corporate tax cuts, yet praise them for helping to bring business to the state?
Sure. I mean, I believe in giving credit where credit is due, and I think having a competitive tax code is absolutely critical when you're competing with 49 other states.
So you believe, though, that Democrats, your party, should be focusing on pushing more of that money towards things like education and health care?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I don't support taking the corporate tax rate to zero. I think what we have done in this state over the last 10 years is we've brought down the corporate tax rate and we're shifting the tax burden to working families.
I asked Garrett about the never-ending legal fight over school funding, known as the Leandro case, and who should decide the matter. Should it be the legislature or the courts to make the call?
Should have been the legislature to make the call. It's their responsibility. It's our responsibility. Unfortunately, we were derelict in that duty in the eyes of the court, so I think ultimately it will be the court's decision.
Can you point out an example where you have stepped away from the party in any key vote?
I think probably one of the largest where I've ventured away from the party.
The Guilford County Democrat, a strong supporter of Governor Cooper's agenda, says he voted against his party on a health plan for small businesses.
I have a small business. I know how expensive health care is for small businesses, and anything to me that can increase access and affordability, even if it's not maybe the Cadillac plan, it's better than nothing.
Is there something that you can point to that say, hey, even though I was in the minority party, I was able to bring this home?
I would say, as one of the lead Democratic negotiators on the energy bill, which is something that I think is transformational and that will have intergenerational impact in this state, reducing carbon emissions from our public utility sector by 70% by 2030 and carbon neutral by 2050.
So a lot of environmentalists are not happy with that, and you know that. And what is it that you tell them?
I think, you know, when you are the minority party, you can't let perfect be the enemy of the good. And this isn't the bill that if I was writing it in a vacuum, I would have drafted. And I think it was the best outcome we could have gotten.
Do you support the concealed carry permit that North Carolina currently has?
Yeah, I mean, I have always been a supporter of the Second Amendment. You know, I think our gun laws are too loose in this state, from my perspective, too loose in this country, really. I'm not for any weakening of our gun purchasing laws or the concealed carry permit. Michael Garrett faces political newcomer Richard Sessoms in the upcoming race to represent Guilford County. Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.